Maize, a cereal grain mainly cultivated for food and animal fodder. It's one of Uganda's major food and cash crops since 1988 when it was introduced. While home consumption remains the main reason for producing maize, small-scale farmers depend on maize among other crops for a substantial source of income. In the mid-80s, the government began to promote maize as an export crop in an effort to diversify Uganda's sources of foreign exchange. It is estimated that Uganda produces about 2.4 million metric tons of maize per year, according to the UBOS report 2018. About 40.5% of this production is exported, Kenya being the main importer because posho, also known as ugali, is their staple food. Eaten on cobs, cooked or boiled, maize is sometimes grounded into a fine powder, also known as the maize flour. The flour is the main ingredient used in the preparation of local paste called posho, ugali, or a food highly consumed in schools, homes, hotels, and restaurants. The last couple of years have seen this demand heavily fluctuate due to the changing climate conditions that have left farmers either overproduce in the high rains or underproduce in the drought season. Because of the inconsistencies, many farmers have been forced to look for alternative innovations like storage, to wait for a better market, adding value to sell better, or employing solar irrigation systems to combat droughts. Tonight on Seeds of Gold, the NAD's intervention in value addition to maize. Coming up on Seeds of Gold.
I don't lie under selling maize with cobs because as an elite person, I know what I can get, and I'm sensitizing all community members not to be deceived to sell their maize at that stage because it is a total loss.
Asabi Moses grows maize at a large scale down in Mayuge district. He is a self-taught farmer who has been dealing in maize for over 10 years. In his prime, he learned how to juggle his books with the farm works in order to secure pocket money and a sustainable income for his family. His biggest challenge came with the changing climate patterns recently. That's when he first heard about the National Agriculture Advisory Services.
I started growing maize as far as 2005 when I was joining campus. So whenever I could come back, I could ensure that at least there is a portion of maize which I could at least plow, a second plow and plant. So when I was leaving for my studies, I could ensure that at least I leave any of my relatives at least to take care of my gardenings. So whenever I was coming, I could monitor. After monitoring, I do what is necessary also. So when it comes to time of either harvesting, when I'm there, I get involved in what? In harvesting. Then after that, I evaluate. After that evaluation, supposing I'm done with 1 acre, I sit down and calculate out of this 1 acre which I've put down, how many kilograms of maize have I put? Have I applied fertilizer? Have I applied the urea? How has been the weeding? Then from there I make my personal assessment. So at the first phase, I started with 1.5 acres. At the first instance, it didn't come properly. In fact, out of that, I got 11 bags. So I sat down and said, 11 bags. Out of now the money invested, I was like as if I was on a loss, but not as such a loss. So I had to again to sit down and evaluate myself. Then after that, I skipped a year when I was not done with that. Then after the next year, I extended with the 4 acres. After I was sharing with my colleague at school who were dealing with the agriculture department. So I was seeking advice how to handle. So when I consulted him, I came along with him on the ground, so had to direct me the way I can open the land, how I can plant, how I can space, which time of weeding, second weeding, third weeding, depending on the nature. So the 4 acres, I said, no, let me go and make a sample. I just had land from somewhere. By doing so, I had land, but I wanted to see, supposing I don't have land, if I'm going to hire land from somewhere, how can I do it and how can I benefit, supposing I'm not using my personal what? My personal land. Then the 4 acres, I ensured that all the criteria which the technical person told me to use, actually it is what I used. So by using that, there was some sort of limit in terms of sunshine, whereby during flowering, sunshine had to come in. I was expecting to do with 8,000 kilograms. Instead, I got 600. So out of the 600, I saw where the weakness was the weather condition. By that time still, there was a challenge of market. The market which I sold that maize, in fact it was like 400. 400, I had no way how I can add value to it. So the only alternative was to do what? Was to sell. Then I had to extend to 10 acres of maize. Then 10 acres of maize, all the criteria which I got from the other time. In fact, I applied everything because planting was in time, in Feb. I made second planting using a tractor. Maize came very well. In that I got out of the 10 acres, I got 23,000 kilograms. Out of the 23 kilograms, by that time, the other time, as I told you that by doing all that, market was low, and much as it could be high, I had no alternative again how I can keep the maize, because one, I had no store, I had no a friends which can link me at least to go to market. So the other time I could sell, but this time of 2,300 kilograms, I mean 23. That is when, as an association, we got a chance from NADS. After harvesting, the machine had already done what? Had entered our premise. So by assembling, I started harvesting warmly with my casual laborers. When it came to slashing, we have a slashing machine. I had to use the slashing machine to slash that what? To slash that maize. Then from there, I had to make some sort of rebagging. Imagine, I was not drying on a bare what? On a bare ground. I was technical enough that this maize, because I wanted to add value, I had to ensure that at least I get taplings where I can dry my what? My maize. So when I dried that maize, I had to go and take it to the maize mill and grind it by myself.
With the help of NAD's intervention, by providing a maize mill, Moses has been able to expand his acreage and vision to even higher prospects.
Currently, as I talk, I'm in 45 acres of what? Of maize, where I'm expecting some good money. So my aim is by 2022, when I'm able as a person minus the organization to be supplying over 20 tons per season. I know by 20 tons per season, as I have the machines which can add value, I know I will have moved a step from where I started and from where I am.
Up next, Moses explains why you should probably not sell your maize at corn level, and later takes us through the process of adding value to maize. Having a maize mill now means Moses can grind the maize and sell it off as flour even in the variant weather conditions. This has immensely grown his revenue, status and opened up more opportunities for him.
Out of the kilograms which I told you, I had to get pure number one of posho. It was 15,000 kilograms. Whereby by then, famine was saturating almost the whole country. So I was selling that one kilograms at a rate of 2,000 kilograms. So out of the 2,000 kilograms times 15,000 shillings, I had to obtain 30 M. After I'd added the value, now me have gotten maize after milling Asics or brand. Imagine I remained with that. So as an association, we had again to see where we can go and buy chicks of broilers. So when we bought that, we had to use these Asics mixed with other foodstuffs to ensure that our chicks goes on. So when it again comes to birds, as a group, we started with 300. With that 300, imagine we had a startup tool for Asics. So we went feeding all that, we sold it off. So when we sold off those chicks, again we had to evaluate. So the organization had to pay me very well. By doing so, I was like a tutor who could teach all my members whom I sit with, especially on the board, and other members also, the value of growing what? Of growing maize. So by doing so, one, I'd reduce the burden of food and income was coming, and also I'd changed my way of doing that, of living. I had at least to boost myself over setting up that house which you have seen, that one there. Again, I had to buy land, 6 acres, to add on what I have. By doing this, I want to reduce from the so-called land, land. Because when you have the capacity to own yours, why should you overstay at your father's at your father's land? Yes, I could stay because it is the origin, but of course when I have other roots where behind attached. So by doing that, also I had to go and buy a plot in Iganga town. About at 19 millions, where my structure next to this one, a residential bigger than this one, where I'm going under construction. It is remaining with some sort of plastering and putting wiring, water. Then have to Gandhi use that one also. So basically, in maize production, it has not done bad for me, because as per now, I can search for a job, but when I'm concentrating on my work, I may not be so close to seeking where for the worker is, where they are going to monitor for me. Now I'm the manager. Now of recent, the maize, the 30 acres, which I plowed, God helped me that also it came very well. By coming very well, everything was done and the market was there. By market being there, one, we have a maize mill, and even these ones who were yearning for me to come, they were very many. So because I have a maize mill, I saw it as not being serious on the work which I do, because I have a maize mill which I can add value. Again, why should I sell? So after grinding all that maize which came out from the 30 acres, I had to calculate everything, the money which I had applied, the labor and everything, had to remain with 75 million.
In the event that the weather conditions are favorable, many upcoming farmers grow the crop with the purpose of selling them at corn level. We asked Moses what the difference in reward would be between selling maize at corn level versus adding value to it.
Now when I go with this maize on the market, of course they can even give me at 50. By this maize here you are seeing, when they are like a 2, they can make a kilo. A kilo currently now, it is 1,200. Now, there is that big difference between 1,200 and 200 perhaps per one cob. So by answering you, she is no way as to why, I mean the reason as to why I can sell my maize when it is on this stage, when I have the capacity of adding value. So me, I'm reliable to adding value. The more I add value, the more money I get. I don't lie under selling maize with cobs, because as an elite person, I know what I can get, and I'm sensitizing all community members not to be deceived to sell their maize at that stage, because it is a total loss. You sell this, you'll be at 30%. When I take my maize to the final stage, I will get 90%.
Obtaining certain extended services from government and some private institutions has helped many farmers upscale their ventures. Moses points out the advantages of approaching such institutes as a group as opposed to individual efforts.
I had to join that association. As that association, it is our goals or our vision or our objective. One, it is a family, as a business. So by looking at that, I never wanted to put that objective down. So I had just to maintain it. Yes, because by supposing I was single, just as I would be, other benefits I would not get them. Because currently, if I'm milling at 150. Then for a community, 200. I think I'm benefiting. That's why I said no. By being independent, at least that is where I have to go and join. So that difference of just 50 is enough for me. And two, the government of Uganda cannot give you money as a person, much as it will give you, but when you are comparing as an individual and as a group, of course, when you put papers, they will consider a group.
We now take a look at the process of value addition that Moses' community goes through and how profitable it can get.
So now this is the process of making this maize ready for milling. Now this one has some sort of darkness, so we bring it here in this winnower. We put it right, then from here we bring it here for weighing to see how many kilograms somebody has done what, has brought. Now after here we are going for Hara to remove asics. This one here, it can do waiting. We pour our water, then this machine here can throw to the other what? To the other Hara. And now it's pouring. Remember that some brand is here. By doing like this, we don't want someone's brand to get spoiled. That's why we apply this cover such that brand, where it has come direct, it goes there and the beneficiary pick it direct. Then from there, now that's why in the final stage of production, whereby after removing the brand, now it is going in for milling. Now the maize flour will come out from the other mill, the other end. This one will have to be the final stage of production. After removing everything, after cleaning, after watering, now somebody will be able to get the final product out of maize. Then from here, again we shall remeasure to ensure how many kilograms has been produced as a flour and how many kilograms has been removed as a bland.
With the help of nuts, Moses and his community have had great strides at improving their farming practices with the involvement of a mill. However, there is still a couple of challenges first before they are able to maximize their maize production.
Where benefit is, there must be what? A challenge. The challenge which we are having now as a group, and when it comes to a group, also it comes to me as a what? As an individual, is a transport. Because why am I saying this is transport? When I'm done with that final stage of production, I don't have the capacity to transport my finished product from that milling station up to where there is already what? A market. Imagine, just as I told you earlier than before, this maize, as I've been selling it, you sell at intervals. Somebody comes and apply for either 2,000 kilograms, you give. After 2 months, it is when you can get the what? The money. So, supposing I have transport, or supposing we have transport, you can get where there is a ready market. After putting your product at the final stage of production, you can load, repack, and take it for that ready market. Either Sudan or where. But when there is what? Ready what? Market. This one comes as you have transport. But when you have to calculate, you are like, you want to take your portion at Kampala. Somebody with a road will charge you over 500. And per day. So, you might get jam in the market. The road stays there for 2 days. Isn't that 1 million? Again, the profit which you would get, again, it has turned down to what? To transport. That even of recent, NAD had to get us a tractor new brand. Whereby now, we have hope, and I have hope, to over-multiply across the acres which I've been having.
Considering the plant is the second most important crop after wheat, we can say its market will continue being invaluable. Value addition adds more than just a bonus to revenue, quality, and quantity for many farmers out there. Until next week, that's all we have today, only on Seeds of Gold.